If you can't swim, don't jump in the ocean.
Right. If you can't swim, don't jump in the ocean.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? Like, you need to be in a kiddie pool. You need to have on floats.
Even if you put a foot in a bathtub.
You know what I'm saying? Like, right. You know what I mean? Like, even on that note too, sometimes, bro, you just gotta be comfortable in the water.
Exactly.
So, like, even if you're in a bathtub, bro, I don't want to say this. Don't. Welcome back to another edition of your favorite podcast with your favorite podcast host. It's the Freewenow.
Till it's backwards.
Yes, sir, ski. Okay, we got a lot of great stuff for y'all, all right?
As
always, you know what I'm saying? And I normally say we spoiling y'all when we have a guest, but shoot, we spoiling y'all with us. You feel me?
Come on now.
You feel me? We spoiling y'all with ourselves, all right? So today we got a few topics we're going to talk about. Making yourself uncomfortable to live a comfortable life. We're going to talk about the beauty of being an athlete, right? And then we're going to talk about finding privacy in the public eye. What you got for the people?
Hey, man, as always, follow me on Instagram at Chief_Gilmore. Follow me on Twitter at Call Me Sweat. And protect yourself from negative energy because misery loves company. And being miserable sucks. But being miserable about something that has nothing to do with you is dumb.
Say that one more time.
Protect yourself from negative energy. Because misery loves company, and being miserable sucks. But being miserable about something that has nothing to do with you is dumb.
Ooh. Hey, I know it's gonna be a good one when he start off the podcast with a quote.
With a little heat.
You know what I'm saying? Let's come on in. You know what I'm talking about? You feel me? Okay, let's talk about making yourself uncomfortable to create a comfortable life. Like what does that mean? Right? Everybody's like, oh, you gotta be uncomfortable in comfortable times and make you like, what does that mean, yo? Like, to live a comfortable life, right? To get to where you want to be, right? Whatever that is for you, right? You have to have a period or a phase in your life when you're uncomfortable.
Yes.
Like, so what does that mean to you?
Hey, man, you're never going to find out your true self in all your successes. You find out the most important things about you in your failures, right? So you have to make yourself uncomfortable. You have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to do things that you never thought was possible. You have to do things that make you afraid before, right? Because that is going to be the only time you're able to grow, right? As they always say, the only time you can be brave is when you're afraid. So you have to be uncomfortable, right?
Facts.
Because
hold on. I don't want to speak about it. Let's see what I'm saying. Let's drive slow right there. It's like we're in the school zone. You feel me? We're in the school zone. Let's drive slow right there. So you're saying a lot of times people get that confused, right? They think bravery comes before or without fear, or before or without being afraid. You feel me? So like it's okay. Let's put it like that. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to have fear, but you can't stay there.
You can't.
Right?
You can't live in it.
You can't live in it, and to be brave that's overcoming something of a lesser intent, right?
Yes.
Something of a lesser status, right? You can't be brave just for the sake of, oh, I'm brave. I'm just wilding out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that's even healthy just to be doing things just because, right? Like, you have to overcome a sense of fear, a sense of being afraid to even, showcase your bravery. Keep going.
You know what I'm saying? As we say, like, fear is definitely a learned thing, right? It's something that you learn over the course of life, whether it's the outside views from other people, whether it's something that you create up that isn't true in your own mind, right? And then being brave is also a learned thing, right?
Absolutely.
It's learning that fear has no hold over you.
Absolutely.
That it doesn't control your life, that it doesn't define who you are, and that it does not belong in your ether. It doesn't belong in your environment. It doesn't belong in your soul. It doesn't belong in your spirit, right? So you have to, as I always say, live in that uncomfortable means, right? Because that's where the best growth comes from.
Absolutely.
That's when you realize who you are. That's when you realize who you have around you, right? Because that's a big ticket item as well, right?
Right.
The people that you have around you influence your views, right?
Absolutely.
They influence your successes. They influence your motion, right?
Yeah.
So you start to realize, dang, I'm so uncomfortable, and this person is adding to it.
Right.
This person is breathing life into that uncomfortable sense, right? And then you start to get more comfortable, right? You start to realize that fear is nothing in the grand scheme of things. It's not important, right?
Man.
And then you build that life towards you want to go.
Man, okay, you hit it. Man, you know what I'm saying? One day we need to do it live so we can have an audience, right? So we can feed off their energy. But I think you hit on a lot of great points, right? We'll talk about fear being a learned behavior, right? So you mentioned that, right? I was just talking to my mom yesterday, right? And we were basically talking about the fear of dogs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And how she's so afraid of. Mom, I love you, man. I promise.
Put her on Front Street.
You know
Why
what I'm
you
saying?
do her like that?
I ain't trying to put you on Front Street like that. But she has a fear of dogs.
Yeah.
And at a young age, I started realizing she was putting that fear on me. So I'm like, and my dad didn't have that fear. Like my dad had 2 pit bulls.
Yeah.
And so when I was with my mom, if a small dog, big dog, it doesn't matter who, bro, it could be a puppy. If a dog came, bro, she was like, oh my God, like freaking out and panicking, right?
Yeah.
But then when I would go with my dad, bro, he got 2 pit bulls.
So was it nothing to him?
You know what I'm saying? You know, pit bulls, that's like the wildest, blackest dog you can have. You feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, I would see how he would act around dogs, and I would be like, why am I acting like that? You know what I'm saying? And then taking another one, y'all got to tap into our Bible study, right? Exactly. We're doing Bible study. We posted those. The truth, right? On that, we talked about how basically God gave Adam the authority to name the animals, the beasts, the cattle, the fowl of the air, right? So when you have dominion over something, right? It's cool to say, oh, I have dominion. But if you naming something, that's like you naming your child. That's yours, bro. Like that's your kid. That's your child. You have authority over that. So for God to give us the ability, the authority to name something, like he's basically telling you, they answer to you. Yeah. You call it what you call it whatever you want to call it.
Ain't no reason to be afraid.
Ain't no reason to be afraid. So now I'm like, okay, if we got dominion and God allowed us to call the animals whatever we want to call them, you think I'm finna be running every time I see a dog?
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like it also shows you that these are like spiritual beings as well. And so a lot of times animals, bro, they can sense when you're afraid. You feel me? So like if they feel that fear in you, they may not necessarily, I don't want to say they're gonna attack you, but that sense of authority in that hierarchy atmosphere is no longer there. You know what I'm saying? So like you calling that what it's supposed to be on a learned behavior. And then you also mentioned that being in an environment where it fosters bravery, right? So on a small sense, right? With us lifting weights, right? And you know what I'm saying? We'll talk about the bench press. Right? Like that's your thing.
That is my thing.
You feel me? I'm not rocking with the bench press.
I know you don't like it.
You feel me?
At all.
But at the same time, like I do it and I'm in an environment where you like, bro, you can do more. You feel me? Like you can push more, right? And so exercise, right? And your muscles and your strength being a learned behavior is the same way as fear, right? It's gonna hurt before it gets better. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to push through whatever that weight is, or whatever that obstacle is that you want to get through before you can actually overcome. And to now, like you said, bro, if you take an assessment, bro, in 2 or 3 weeks, we didn't went up. You know what I'm saying? Like
pounds,
bro, a lot.
Heavy weight,
bro. You know what I'm saying? So
a lot of growth.
A lot of growth, bro. So you have to constantly put, yourself in environments where it forces you to stretch and forces you to grow. We'll talk about yoga, bro. Like you have to stretch your muscles for you to be able to stretch. It sounds so crazy. You mean to tell me I have to stretch to be able to stretch?
I'm gonna tell you right now, I am not limber, bro.
You feel me?
My thing is not a rubber band, boy. It's just a steel pipe.
You feel me? You know what I'm saying? But because why? Because we don't stretch. You know what I'm saying? So like the same things with your mind, bro. So let's take it another step further, right? Being uncomfortable, bro. I'm realizing like with us exercising and really taking this fitness thing on, talk about how our mindset has changed in the way our mind has grown and stretched from us consistently putting ourselves in an uncomfortable environment.
Hey man, it honestly it builds excitement.
It does.
Right? I'm excited to work out. I'm excited to do these different things, right? Don't get me wrong. I hate waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
I can't tell.
I be tired.
I can't tell.
I be tired.
I'll say this thing. Okay, earlier I talked to him. I was like, yo, we have a lot of topics that we agree on. But I think one thing that we can agree on is, number one, it was like at one point, time, right? Like you were super early and I would always be late.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you were super early. You just be waiting there waiting. Like, where are you at, right? And I'm like, I'm on the way. You feel me? But I think another one is in the morning time when we get up. Like you're already up. And I'm like running down the steps like, oh, let's go. You feel me? So I think that's one topic that maybe we can talk on at a different time. But yeah, keep going.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I'll be excited. I don't like waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I want to sleep in to the last possible minute to where that I can, you know what I'm saying, do it at the last minute, right?
Right.
But when I get up and we get there, y'all majority of the time y'all still sleep. I ain't gonna lie, y'all
still sleep.
I'm getting stuff together. And then we start, and it's like that energy finds me. It's like we flip over that first card for that little car workout that we do, and the energy finds me. That first push-up, that first squat, that first deadlift, or whatever it is, it gives me the energy to keep pushing, right? And then you see the growth, like, yo, I couldn't do this ab workout 2 weeks ago, but now I'm killing it. I couldn't push this weight 2 weeks ago, but now I'm killing it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see myself in this position 2 weeks ago, but now I'm in it, right? It's the constant growth because we are exercising what we have the ability to do, right? And we are dismissing the fear. Now it's no more fear about getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Now it's no more fear about lifting that weight. Now it's no more fear about going for that job. Now it's no more fear about doing the podcast. These different things are becoming so easy to us because we made ourselves uncomfortable. We forced ourselves to do it, right?
Absolutely.
And I'm not telling y'all it's going to be easy because a lot of things in life we do aren't easy, right? But you're going to realize when you get months and years down the road that it was so insignificant for you to be afraid to do those things.
Absolutely. No, absolutely, bro. How you do anything is how you do everything, right? So the same mindset that you approach to like getting up in the morning, like you said, bro, now you can go for that job.
Exactly.
You can push through whatever your coworkers may be getting on your nerves about, whatever your supervisor is talking about, or, you know what I'm saying, whatever's going on in your life and your family members are annoying you about, right? Like, you can push through all those things. Like, you have to constantly put your mind, bro, in those environments where it's forcing it to grow and forcing it to push through. You know what I mean? Like, and it's super interesting, bro. The days that I work out, I end up, it's counterintuitive, right? The days that we work out and we go hard, I have more energy than the days that I don't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you would think spending energy working out would take away from you, but it really adds more than it takes away. You feel me? Like, I realize, bro, on the days that we doing 2 workouts, I'm like, yo, I still have energy. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you don't get to a point where you need to sleep, right? But during the day, like, I'm more locked in.
Most definitely.
You know what I'm saying? I'm more like, I'm peeping. I don't know, bro. I just feel like I'm in like 007 mode. You know what I'm saying?
It's like a jump start.
It is, bro. It's like you jump started your day, and there's a life hack, bro, in working out before you go to work. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can work out before you go to work, or you can work out afterwards. I know for me personally, when I work out before I go to work, I have better days. You know what I'm saying? Like, afterwards, by the time you get home, you tired, your sluggish energy, you know what I'm saying, sluggish. You like, now I done went through that whole work day, and I gotta go work out, and I gotta come home and cook dinner, and I gotta be available for all of my loved ones. It just doesn't work out, bro. It just doesn't work out. So is there a balance, right? We talk about balance, right? Is there a balance when you're trying to create that comfortable lifestyle by being uncomfortable? What does the balance of that look like?
So I think everything deserves a balance, right? Too much of something is going to be overwhelming. Too little is going to be understimulating, right?
Right.
So you have to put yourself in an uncomfortable environment, right? But you also have to understand that the purpose of being in that uncomfortable environment is to grow. If you don't give yourself the opportunity to succeed, you know what I'm saying, you are going to fail, right? And there's nothing wrong with failures because you learn about it. But when you throw 8 billion tasks on yourself at one time, knowing that it is almost nearly impossible to complete every single task, right? All you're going to do is halfway do every task, right? You know what I'm saying? So pick out something in your life that you're lacking in, right? Pick out something that you don't feel like you're doing the best in, that you're not putting the most amount of time towards, that you're not really helping yourself grow in, and focus on that, right? Focus on that task, right? And every day build on it, whether it's a small step, whether it's a big step, whether it's a side step, you know what I'm saying? Any step trying to get better at something is a good step, right?
Sure.
Even if it's a back step, because you're realizing what pushed you back. Why didn't you succeed in that area, right? So put yourself in let's say a small uncomfortable environment if you can't take on the big role, so that you can overcome that, right? And then when you start overcoming goals and you start succeeding in small areas, the big things become easier, right? Because you've already proven to yourself that you have the ability to overcome these different things, right? So there's always going to be a very nice balance, right? Because as I said, too much of something is overpowering, and too little is understimulating.
No, for sure, bro. I think you hit the nail on the head, bro. I mean, you can even, bro, drown from drinking too much water.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, and water, I think, is one of the most powerful elements, best elements on earth. But even that, bro, too much of that, you can drown from it, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I think to your point, bro, it's like even being uncomfortable sometimes putting your faith on big things. You feel me? Like, you may need to put your faith on something small first before you can even believe I'm cured from this cancer, or I'm healed from this trauma from my childhood, right? Like, you have to, like, put your faith, bro, in small things first, and then, like, let it build up. You feel me? Like, so just to draw that point home, like, understand, like, yes, We hustlers. We want y'all to go get it. You know what I'm saying? We want y'all lives to be better. But understand nothing happens overnight. And to put yourself in these uncomfortable situations incrementally.
Incrementally.
You know what I mean? Like, it ain't just like, oh, just water by, fire hose.
If you can't swim, don't jump in the ocean.
Right. If you can't swim, don't jump in the ocean.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? Like, you need to be in a kiddie pool. You need to have on floats.
Even if you put a foot in a bathtub.
You know what I'm saying? Like, right. You know what I mean? Like, even on that note too, sometimes, bro, you just got to be comfortable in the water.
Exactly.
So, like, even if you're in a bathtub, bro, I don't want to say this. It's so exhausting to, like, say things and then have to, like, pre-qualify it every time. But, like, I'm going to do it anyway just for this one. Like, do this responsibly and don't try to kill yourself. But, like, even if you're taking a bath, sometimes you have to be comfortable just going underneath the water.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, holding your breath and going under the water and be like, okay, I'm okay.
Good to go.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Don't just go under there and hold your breath for forever and then say, like, we're responsible. No, that's not what we're saying doing. Okay?
It was your fault if you do that.
You did that. All right, let's have some common sense. All right. But you have to have that comfortability in the water.
Exactly.
So if you can't swim,
do not jump in the ocean.
Yes, sirski. Okay. We'll talk about the beauty of being an athlete, bro. I think being an athlete, bro, is a life hack. Even if you're not the superstar. We're not even talking about you got to get a D1 scholarship. You got to go to the pros. You got to play overseas, right? Let's just talk about, bro, being uncomfortable to create a comfortable life and how that parallels with the beauty of being an athlete.
Being an athlete coincides with everything that you're doing.
Bro, everything.
Right? That's why people put their children in sports, right? It teaches them teamwork. It teaches them to overcome failures. It teaches them about success. And it teaches them about studying, right? And it teaches them about listening, right? You have an individual who is over the team, your coach, right? Who's been through these certain environments, who's seen great players, who's seen bad players, who's seen good days, who's seen bad days, who is now taking all the knowledge that he has and instilling it into children, which I think is a great time to put your people into sports, right? Is as a child, right? Because that's when they soak up the most knowledge. When you get older, you're kind of set in your ways and it's a little bit harder to overcome these different stimuli that you had in your life. But as a child, right, you're kind of soaking everything up as a sponge, right? So putting them in sports, right? Teaching them how to work together with things. Right. Teaching them that there are going to be people that are better off in life than you immediately. There are going to be people who have natural abilities that you don't have, right? But it teaches you that you got to practice, right? You got to run sprints. You got to lift weights. You got to go out there and watch video and film. You got to catch the ball. You got to shoot the ball. You got to do all these different things, right? And then it also shows you how to imitate other people, but change it into your own sense of being your own person, right? Now you see the Kyries, the LeBron James, the Michael Jordans, the Tom Brady's, the different great players that have been playing this sport, right? And you're like, why does he step back when he does this? Why does he do this workout? Why does he sprint when he do this? How does he jump? How does he make this shot? How does he have the ability in his head to know that even if he misses this shot, he's going to take it because he believes in himself, right? It gives you that little sense of life in almost a comfortable environment.
For sure. No, bro. I think athletes are some of the greatest human beings, bro. Because they went through so much, overcome so much. You talked about film, right? Bro, one of the hardest things, bro, for me to do is being accustomed to going on the screen in a room full of all your teammates, right? And watching your mistakes. And not only just watching them, the coach calling them out and, like, yelling at you. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, that was one of the... And then it's like, you played the game. Like, bro, I made the mistake. You think I didn't see it?
I know what happened.
I did it.
Yes.
You feel me? Yet, even through all of that, the next day, we still gonna come in here, we still gonna watch film, and you still, for lack of a better words, will get embarrassed in front of all of your peers, right? And the coach still gonna yell at you. Then you gonna go to practice, and he's gonna yell at you about the things you did in the game that we watched the film, and I'm gonna tell you what not to do in practice that you just knew that you did, because you watched it with everybody else, and they laughed at you about it, and they told you about it, and now you gotta hear it again.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, it shows you how to have a mirror of your mistakes and where you come up short, right? And you still have to push through that. And I gotta rely on you, Keith.
Exactly.
I can't do everything. I can't do it all.
You can't.
You know what I'm saying? There's power in teamwork. And then, like you said, when I don't feel like getting up in the morning, you knocking on my door, like, hey, bro, like we gotta get up.
We gotta get up.
You know what I'm saying? Or like when we pushing that weight, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if I can do it. You're like, yo, you can do more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It creates that environment, bro, where you're constantly having to self-reflect and get better in self-improvement. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'll take it a step further, bro, especially for, I think, Black men, bro. We have there's an innate sense for real men to chase something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you don't have anything positive to chase, you can start chasing the wrong things. You feel me? So I'll talk to y'all directly. I don't want, especially like I'll say, because I was raised by a single mom for a while at one point, right? Don't try to what's the word I'm looking for? Don't try to downplay or shun your child's zest for wanting to chase something. Right? It's like, oh, why you got so much energy? Or why you always doing all this? Or every time I turn around, you trying to like don't try to like dumb that down. You feel me? Like just put them in an environment where they can do that in a positive way because it's in them regardless.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of people, I'll say a lot of people in our community, a lot of black men end up turning to the streets, right? Because it gives them something to chase.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? And they can see the results quicker.
It's very quick.
You feel me? It's quick money. So I think someone, and sue me, counsel me, whatever. All right. I think drug dealers are some of the best CEOs. And I'll say it here, because you gotta know people, you gotta run an organization, you gotta know the finances.
You gotta be good with money.
You gotta be good with money. You feel me? You gotta know you gotta massage this relationship. Yo, that's your territory, Keith, but this is my territory. But I know to get this money, we gotta massage this relationship and not take everything so personal. Yeah. So you learn about people, you have great instincts, you know what I'm saying? So like don't try to downplay that, and giving somebody a positive thing to chase will allow them to be a better version of themselves as opposed to like going to something negative.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I really think that. And we didn't even talk about injuries.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, bro, imagine being at the prime, right? Spending all summer, I ain't even gonna say all summer, multiple years of your life practicing something, and you finally get the opportunity, whether it's to start on a big team or to play in a big game, and you tear your ACL, you break your ankle, you get a concussion, right? And it just seems like everything that you did was almost for nothing, right? It's like you put in so much blood, you put in so much sweat, you put in so much tears, you put in so much time to get to the pinnacle of that opportunity, and for it to be taken away from something that you have no control
over. Control over. That's a huge
no control over. So one of the things my pops told me all the time, right, is like when you make a decision, it is easier to deal with the decision when you're the one responsible for the decision. Absolutely. Right? When you said out your mouth, hey, this is what I'm doing, I did it and it didn't work out. Absolutely. But it is the hardest pill to swallow when a decision is made for you and it doesn't turn out, right? Absolutely. Because always in the back of your head, you like, if I would have never listened to this person, I would have been right there. I knew I would have did this right. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like an energy, right? I put in all this time and then nothing that I have a control over takes it away from me, right? Facts. And you have to get yourself out of a mindset to pursue it and to be better, right? You know what I'm saying? I think one of the greatest players to ever come back from an injury was Adrian Peterson, bro.
Have to be.
His whole knee was blown out, bro.
Facts.
The next year he came back and broke the rushing record. Facts. The very next year. Facts. The amount of time that it had to take, the amount of mental fortitude that it had to take, the amount of passion, the amount of work, and to get to that and get back to where you went and to get better. Right?
That's
to get better.
You can get back, but to get better.
To get better is crazy. Like, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort.
Bro, it takes a lot of effort, bro. I think you hit on a huge one. Is dealing with the consequences that you didn't cause.
You didn't.
Like, imagine, like, bro, you in the championship game, right? And you play defense and the offense fumbles, or they throw an interception, or the point guard turns the ball over. And now your whole season, like you said, all that work, all that prep work, you got your family in the stands.
Everybody,
you know what I'm saying? Everybody cheering. Your girl super high. She got your jersey on. You know what I'm saying? All of that, right? All of that comes with it, right? The pep rallies, you know what I'm saying? And then just for somebody else to make a mistake that determines your outcome, determines your consequences. Like that's a different thing to deal with.
It is.
You know what I mean? I think schools, and I love school, right? Like, my mom, and I'm not coming from, my mom was a school teacher, right, for forever. She was a principal, right? And I think there's a lot of beauty in education, right? I think it's a huge, huge, huge life hack when you have people that really care about the kids, right? At the same time, I think school as a whole, right, as a just big picture item, it teaches kids how to be individuals and fail, right? Like, if I look at your paper, I'm cheating. If we talk about the homework, we were cheating. Like, if we do a project together that we're not supposed to, like, what type of research did you do? Or where did you go? You know what I'm saying? To find that. Or like, I had a trouble with this. I can't even ask you a question. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It teaches us to be individuals and fail. when I think sports teaches you how to work as a team and succeed.
Network.
You know what I'm saying? It teaches you how to network. It gives you the keys to be successful in life, right? Like school is not really teaching you how to be successful in life in a big picture sense. You know what I'm saying? It's really teaching you how to, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna even get on my soapbox, but we'll just leave it at that, right? So I think the teamwork environment, and like you said, bro, dealing with consequences that you did not cause is a direct reflection of things that you're gonna have to deal with in life, bro.
Yeah.
That school and that it's kind of hard to get outside of sports, and I think that's another reason why it's so hard for ex-athletes to find their purpose in life when their whole life they play sports. You know what I'm saying? Like I think we should do a podcast too, bro, or even a mental health conference, bro, of dealing with ex-athletes and where they are now and how they get over not being who they used to be in their sport.
Yeah. And I think, honestly, I think that's with anything in life. When you've done something all your life and you've never known how to do anything else, and that one thing is taken away from you, it's kind of hard to adjust, especially later on in life, right? You're so set in your ways, you're so used to a certain routine, and now you're like, what do I do?
What do I do?
Like, who am I now?
Who am I?
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people allow what they do to define who they are.
We're in the school zone. We're going to draw slow on that one.
A lot of people allow what they do to define who they are. So it's very hard to adjust.
It's very hard to adjust. Don't let the sport be your identity. You know what I mean? Don't let what you're doing be your identity. The principles that you gain from it, your character, how it has grown from whatever you were going through, you know what I'm saying? Let that be what shapes your identity, not the thing itself. Huge. Okay, and then the last one, right? About sports, right? It allows you, bro, to deal with criticism. And criticism from people that aren't even in the arena. So somebody right now, right? We're podcasting on a regular basis, coming up with topics, watching them, producing the marketing, doing the clips for it, paying for app. Like, bro, we're doing, you know what I'm saying? The whole business of that, right? But somebody else on their couch, like how many people, bro, will see an episode and hit you and be like, oh, bro, I'm thinking about podcasting now.
A lot.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
a lot.
You start doing something and then people think it's so easy.
Very easy.
You know what I'm saying? And so the criticism that comes with playing a sport and there being thousands of fans, we call it like the Monday quarterback.
Monday quarterback.
You know what I'm saying? The Monday football quarterback, right? Like, talk about how it forces you, right, to when you're that man or woman in the arena and actually doing the task that other people are scared to do, don't have the courage to get in there and perform in public, what you have to go through with that.
Yeah. As we're going to take it back to our first topic, criticism is uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable.
It is a very uncomfortable thing to feel with. I think I've learned how to take criticism better, but I don't think I've ever learned to like taking criticism. Right? Like, I don't like for somebody to look at something I do and to point out all the negative things about what I did, right? I'm like, but what about the touchdown I caught? What about the good things that I thought? Like, you know what I'm saying? But as we know, that doesn't help you grow. Knowing about the best things that you did, bro. You need to know about the bad things that you did, so that helps you increase and be better, right? So as I will always say, like, criticism is not the easiest thing to hear. It's a very hard thing, a very hard pill to swallow. Like he said, being put on the screen and displayed from everybody and people that had nothing to do with it. People that didn't get up with you at 4:00 in the morning.
You wasn't with me shooting in the gym.
You wasn't with me shooting in the gym.
You know what I'm saying?
People that didn't go to class with you, people that didn't put in the overtime to study, and people that didn't do the workouts with you, people that didn't do anything to attribute to the success and just getting to that point. Have so much to say about what you're not doing. So much to
say, bro.
Like, what you not doing, like what you didn't do. Like, I didn't like this. You didn't make that play. He sucks. He's not good. Or she's not good. She's not great. She's terrible at this. He's bad at this. Like, you're like, bro, what are you doing with your life?
Right.
Like, why are you so focused on telling me about the bad things that I'm doing? You know what I'm saying? When you had nothing to do with it, right? But you gotta take it for what it is, bro.
You have to.
Because even people that know nothing about what you're doing can tell you something about what you're doing wrong.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
And that's even hard to deal with. Like, you could learn something from somebody who's homeless, who don't have nothing going for them in life because of their experiences. Yeah, it may not be in the exact realm of what you're dealing with, but they may have a tidbit to tell you that increases your life. Like, yeah, they, like you said, they weren't doing any things with you, but I had this experience in my life, so I can tell you what you might need to change to get better, right?
No,
and absolutely. Dealing with that is hard because it comes from an emotional standpoint. Like, immediately hearing criticism, people go on the defensive, right?
Yeah,
like, you're attacking them as a person. And sometimes people are attacking you as a person. They're not doing it to help benefit you, right?
Right.
But in a good sense, there are people who are telling you this thing not taking any of your emotional standpoints on it, just being real with you. And you got to be able to adjust, and you got to be able to listen to it, like, you know what I'm saying, without emotion, like taking all the emotion out, taking all that, just like, all right, he said this, like, let me review this and see how I can get better.
No, absolutely, bro, absolutely. I'll take it for a real life example right now is Deion Sanders, right, and his kids at Colorado, and they just beat the number 17 team TCU, who was also, were they in the championship last year?
They were in the championship last year.
Okay. You take we'll just talk about everything that goes around it. I won't give you my opinion, because why would I give you my opinion, right? I'll just give you the backstory, right? Deion Sanders, 2 kids, right? Playing football under his coaching at Jackson State, HBCU, right? They're getting a lot of negative feedback from people like, oh, like, what are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. I can't believe that you're there. They're also getting criticism in a positive way, I guess, as well. It's like, hey, you're doing a lot for the community, right? Like, you're empowering the community. You're a Hall of Fame athlete. You know what I'm saying? One of the arguably greatest athletes of all time, playing Major League Baseball and in the NFL at the same time, right? Like, that's different.
Two sport athletes.
And did it in a major way. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like he was just, oh, I'm just on the bench. Like, Deion Sanders was him. You know what I'm saying? He also led the culture in his time frame for being authentically himself, right? Like wearing chains, right? Like having swag, right? Like, so all of that stuff that we see now, players having swag and chains and speaking their mind and not being afraid to be themselves, that also came from Deion Sanders, right? So he also spearheaded the culture. So like, let's keep that in our frame of our minds too, right? So now you got him, also a man of God, don't drink, don't smoke, right? None of that, right? Doing this for his kids, he leaves and goes to Colorado. Everybody calling him a sellout, right? They're saying that this is what's wrong with the black community. We have something, then y'all leave. But then people also criticizing the HBCUs for not handling the money properly. Why aren't y'all giving him the right resources? He's not able to get paid the way. Regardless of all of that, right? Goes, takes his kids. Why is his kids leaving? They should have stayed. You're messing up their education. They just made friends. College is just not about education. It's about the experiences, making friends, right? All this other stuff, blah, blah, blah. They get to Colorado, bro. The news tearing them apart. Their whole coaching staff revamped. The whole player roster revamped. People are leaving, bad-mouthing them on the news, talking about them. Then the first game of the season, they beat the people that were just in the national championship last year. You talking about going through criticism within like a 8-month span?
That was a lot.
Overcoming the odds? Like, there's power. You can't tell me that their whole team and that Deion Sanders and his kids and their family and aren't better for that. You know what I'm saying? So, like, understand, yo, when you're the person that's actually doing the work, don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Stay focused, bro. Like, have blinders on. You feel me? Like, there's this clip with Michael Phelps swimming, right? And he's actually losing. But the guy that's beating him looks up to the right and, like, checks him out to see, like, what is Michael Phelps doing? And then when he looks, he loses speed. He loses his lead, right? So then Michael Phelps ends up winning, and it's because he's just focused. You think about horses when they're in the race.
That's why they put the blinders on.
That's why they put the blinders on. Because if they start looking at other horses, bro, they're going to lose. You're going to lose your speed and you're going to lose your lead. So if you're the man or woman in the arena, stay focused, lock in, and do what you do. So the last thing we'll talk about is finding privacy in the public eye.
Which is a very hard thing to do.
How do you find privacy while also being a leader and being in the public eye? I mean, I think we're even starting to feel a little bit of that as well on a small scale.
So I think one of the big things about, finding that privacy in the public eye is not oversharing, right? I think people have a tendency for stuff to happen in their life and feel like everybody needs to know about it, right? I need the praise about it, or I need people to feel sorry for me about it, right? And then they start to look around like, well, dang, why does everybody know my business? Why has everybody got something to say? That's because you're oversharing. Like, you're telling everybody. You're displaying everything about you. You're making your relationships public. You're making your family traumas public. You're making your finances public. You're making all these things public, and then you're getting all these different comments about it, and now you upset.
It's back to the topic we talked about a couple episodes ago. Is where do you get your validation from?
Exactly. It should be internal. Validation should be internal. It should come from you. You shouldn't need anybody else to tell you you're doing good to know that you're doing good, right? As I told you before, look at where you came from and look at to where you are instead of looking at where you're not. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you get that different validation, right? And don't get me wrong, with social media and the easy access we have to everything, it does make it hard living a private life, right? Because There's so many times you're driving around, or I don't think it's ever happened to me, but plenty of people have got on the internet and they see a video of them being recorded doing some regular life stuff, whether it's their life falling apart, whether it's they get into an argument, whether they got in a car accident. It's like everybody kind of dry snitching, right? Yeah. Everybody I can't remember who said it. Kevin Hart said it. Everybody's the feds now. Like,
everybody's the feds.
Y'all get to display everything about my life just by taking a one recording, right?
Right.
So you have to understand the difference of how life has changed, because everything can be put on social media. Everything can be displayed. So it don't need your help.
It doesn't need your help. You don't need help having your life put on Front Street.
You don't need to add to it because it's already going to be put
It's already going to do that.
So you have to take those little pieces of you, right? And you have to set up those boundaries. You got to set up the boundaries of what I want people to know, what I want people to see, and what I'm going to keep at home, right? Because if everybody sees everything about you, it could lead to a breakdown. You know what I'm saying? Like certain things you don't want other people to know about. Right. You don't want to hear everybody's opinions about it. You don't even want somebody to be sad with you.
Right.
Because there's sometimes that you're not feeling good about something and somebody just coming up to you saying, oh, it's going to be okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. God. That make you feel worse, bro.
I know you're feeling horribly
about that. It makes you feel worse, bro.
If I was you, I would be so sad.
Exactly, bro. That don't make you feel good, right? So you got to find that privacy in the public eye, because that's what we live in today, the public eye.
Yeah, I think you hit it, bro. Like, I think the best thing you said, bro, is we don't need help.
We don't need help.
We don't need help making our lives more public.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, I think it also goes back to, I'll put it in our sense, what is your brand built around? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, is your brand built around people coming into your home and seeing the whole family dynamics and everything that is going on in your family is put on Front Street? Is that your brand? Is your brand around you making fun of or shedding light on everything that's going on in your life? I think you have to assess and be like, okay, what do I want my brand to be? Who do I want the public what is the experience that I want the public to get from me when they see me? You know what I'm saying? Because that will, I guess, foster what type of actions and the behavior that you take and the decisions that you make when trying to get your product out. Because everybody's selling something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody's selling something. So if you are, whatever you are selling, you have to understand that, hey, while it may work in this sense, what are the drawbacks from that? You know what I'm saying? What's the downside of that? Right? Like, are you putting your relationship on Front Street so much to the sense where now your breakups are public? You know what I'm saying? Or they see somebody with your girl or with your dude in a different environment. Now everybody's tweeting about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the beauty, I try to look at people who have public lives, but also private lives as well. And how do they move? I look at like Beyonce and Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? It's like, they're not on interviews and in the public talking about their relationship. You know what I'm saying? Very seldom do you ever hear them being like, hey, this is how our marriage is and this is what we do and this about, like, it's none of your business.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And they don't allow people to have that much access to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, Beyonce and Jay-Z, they have like one of the most public lives ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the same time, you don't have that certain type of access to them. You know what I'm saying? So I think you have to guard your access and you have to guard what you allow people to see into your life. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody doesn't want to see you win, bro. Like, two things are going to happen when you see somebody. You're going to be either intimidated or inspired. Period. You're either going to be intimidated or inspired. Right? So that's from my success or that's from my failures. When you see me, are you intimidated or are you inspired? Yo, I see y'all podcast. Is this showing me all the mistakes that how we never put our podcast out? Or am I inspired to go put my podcast out? You know what I'm saying? When I see your relationship and it's all black love, am I intimidated to say, like, well, why, God, did you not bring no black love to my life? You know what I'm saying? Or am I going to be inspired to say, hey, true love with black people does exist? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you have to take an assessment. Are you intimidated? Are you inspired? You know what I mean? And finding that privacy in the public eye, bro, you just have to be conscious of not giving that to the public, bro, because we don't need any help doing it. You know what I'm saying? And okay, we'll talk about the last thing. How do you respond when something does become public that you didn't want to become public?
Ooh, I think that's something very tough to deal with, right?
Yeah.
Depending on like what type of effect it had on your life, especially if it's something that you haven't come to terms with yet, right? So now you have to come to terms with something that you didn't want everybody to know when everybody already knows, right? So now you're getting all these unwanted comments, all these unwanted actions, adding to the trauma that you're already dealing with in your life, right? Yeah. You ain't even got the chance to breathe about it, right?
Right.
Like the Sha'Carri Richardson thing, right? her finding out about her mom dying in an interview after a race. You know what I'm saying?
Tough.
She had no time to deal with that.
It's tough.
It was immediately thrust on her in the public eye, right?
It's tough.
Like, I couldn't imagine hearing my mom die in a public sense, you know what I'm saying, without even having time to deal with it myself.
It's tough.
Like, I would lose it. I would have lost it on the report.
I
I
would
would
have
have
lost it.
I'd have
too.
lost it. It'd have been over. It'd have been up.
I would have lost it, bro.
She would have caught it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's something hard to deal with, right?
Yeah.
But one thing you have to always realize is that, like you said, people don't want to see you win, right? And people give you the tools to destroy yourself, right?
Absolutely.
As I just said, I would have pieced the reporter up, but me being in that public life, being a professional athlete, to piece that reporter up, now I got to deal with my mom's dying, and then now I got to deal with the backlash of beating a reporter up, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very humbling in the sense that sometimes you have to just take it on the chin, bro. You really do. You gotta take that L, and you gotta go back and you gotta realize all this work that you put in, all these different things that are happening in your life, they don't deserve the reaction they're trying to get out of you.
They don't deserve it.
They don't deserve your time. They don't deserve your anger. They don't deserve your tears.
Right. No, absolutely, bro. You talking about beating a reporter up reminds me of like the Will Smith and Chris Rock thing, right?
Yeah.
So it's like the backlash of allowing someone else to have dominion over your emotions, allowing somebody else to control the way you react to things. Because it's like, we can go on and on all day about what should he have done or what she have not done, but at the same time, it's like we can agree that the backlash that came with it makes the actions not even worth it.
It wasn't worth it.
You know what I'm saying?
That temporary temporary relief. It wasn't worth it.
Right. So to that point, bro, I agree with you. Like, when something does come out that you don't want to be public, especially if it's something that makes you very vulnerable, I think you have to understand that, like, there's power in people seeing something that you go through, whether unfortunately be in the public eye, but there's power and you can lead people, even people seeing how you react in the public eye to things that made you vulnerable. It's kind of like what's my boy DC Young Fly and Jackie O.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I can imagine. It's hard to even think about or fathom you losing your wife, your girl, like, in such a public lifestyle. Yet, even through all of that, people seeing how you responded in a positive way, and then them seeing how you didn't lose your connection to God. You feel me? Like, you talking about they will give you the tools to destroy yourself. Satan will give you the tools to destroy yourself as well. So, like, even in those senses of you have every right to go off.
Yeah.
You have every normal sane person will be like, yeah, I feel Keith on that, right? Yet, at the same time, who would win from that is the devil, right? Like, if DC Young Fly started bashing God, right? Going at God and saying, God, why me? I don't trust you no more. I can't have faith in nothing, blah, blah, blah. God's not real. All this other stuff. Like, he's human. He can react like that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's right, but in my human side, I would say I feel him, right? Yet at the end of the day, if he reacted like that, Satan will win, right? Like, DC Young Fly got millions of followers. He will be turning people away from God, from their own situations, because I'm sure he's not the only person that lost a loved one or lost a significant other. He would be turning people away from God instead of turning people towards God. You feel me? So you have to understand that, like, sometimes, bro, when you chosen or you in the public eye, bro, you just got to respond differently, bro.
Influence is everything.
Bro, because you got the influence, and, you know what I'm saying, God not going to leave you, so you just got to find strength in that and respond in the right way. That was a deep one.
Hey, as always, we get to it. We get right to it.
Me? That was a deep one. Any last minute words of wisdom, advice, quotes for the people?
I'm gonna take it back to the criticism thing, right? One thing we said, like, when you have people going for something in their life, criticizing them about taking the opportunity to grow isn't criticism, it's hate. For everybody to look at Deion Sanders and be like, oh, you leaving this HBCU, like, you supposed to stay here, you supposed to turn this up, you supposed to do that. Man, this man is taking the opportunity to improve his life, and you saying, well, we're just giving him constructive criticism. No, you're just hating on the man because he's taking that opportunity that maybe in your life you didn't take. So don't hate on people. Don't do that. Let them take the opportunities to grow. And if you're trying to grow and somebody won't let you, you know what you need to do? Leave them in the rearview mirror.
Facts. Cut them off, man. Leave them behind.
Yep.
They not meant for you. They not meant for you. So man, great podcast. This was actually, I say this a lot, but I don't think y'all understand, like, when we had these talks, like, I benefit from them too.
Facts.
You feel me? Like, I feel refreshed and we were the ones talking. You know what I'm saying? So like, I hope that y'all listen to these and watch these with the intentions of growing. You feel me? Like, when you set your intentions on something, normally you find it. You feel me? So like, set your intentions on trying to grow from this podcast and from this episode and make your life better. We love y'all. It's the Freewenow.
Till it is backwards.
Yes, sir. Ski.